us to understand life through Bhagavad Gita. It's very interesting that nowadays people are much more interested towards so many other things except than Bhagavad Gita. So one time, a sister asked her brother, that what gift are you going to give to your grandma on her birthday? So the boy said that I'm going to give her football. So the sister was little taken aback. She said, "Hey, do you think she's going to play football in this age and you are going to give her as a present on her birthday?" Well, yeah, why not? When my birthday was there, she gave me Bhagavad Gita, and which I don't want to read, and it has no value for me, is no use for me. So similarly, I'm going to give her football so that it won't be any valuable to her. So, but still, you all have shown such a great faith to coming to this session today, which is based on Bhagavad Gita, um, which is cultivating stress into smile, managing our stress. We cannot get completely rid of our stress. So I'll have a presentation, mm, and we'll discuss few points in whatever time available to us, and we will see how it goes ahead. Are you able to see the screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So the contents of the seminar today or discussion today would be understanding the phenomena of stress, symptom of stress, causes of stress, overcoming stress, undertaking bliss. What exactly is that? So I would like to ask this question to all of you. How many of you have felt stress in your life? We all, isn't it? We all have gone through that stressful condition, or we are experiencing stress. And now and then, now and here and now and then, we keep going through that undesirable phenomena of stress, because so many things are changing so rapidly that we are unable to cope up with that change. Any change which comes in life, that brings stress. And so many things, your mobiles are changing, your technology is changing, your uh, education, your information is updating so rapidly, it becomes challenge to cope up with such change, and that change induces stress. So how do we deal with such situation? Ever changing world, and ever changing information, so many things. So here is one thing which we can discuss. What does stress means? Stress means a response to a perceived threat or some demand we come across. So now here you can see on the slide that a person is being chased by a bear. Now he has two responses here. Either he can fight, or he can flight, or he can run away, or he can stay in the situation. But in life, to grow, what we need is some kind of stress. A degree of stress is needed for success in any field. What what does it mean? Just like in this slide, you can see that stress should be within limits and as per one's capacity, which he can handle. If stress is beyond one's limit or load is beyond one limits, what happens? It breaks you down. And therefore, there are two types of stress which we all have to deal with. One stress is called EU stress, a form of stress having a beneficial effects on health, motivation, performance, and well-being. And another one which is harmful, which is so detrimental for one's life, is DI stress. So this type of stress we are referring to when we say stress. It is the form of stress which has negative implications. So throughout the discussion, we will be referring to DI stress. EU stress is necessary for your well-being. So here you can see that here there are types of students. So there are three types of student you can see in the first picture. One is that fellow who is gifted. He is very cool. He does little bit here and there, and next day is a paper, is sitting playing games, watching movies. Another fellow who has given up, he doesn't bother about exam, he doesn't bother about his results, and he's taking full rest. And in the middle of that fellow who is worried about the result and who has not studied. So there are three types of people and three types of stress. So here is the diagram which will help you to understand what exactly this DI stress, EU stress, and how to handle those things. So low area here you can see that, where you don't have any kind of motivation. So that zone or that thing also creates stress, and lot of burnt out, disorganized behavior creates another kind of stress that is also harmful. So what we need in life is that EU stress, which can be brought by focused attention, having emotional balance, and brings rational thinking. So what are the symptoms of stress? There are four kinds: emotional, physical, and behavioral, and cognitive. So how someone understands that I am under stress? So the emotional symptoms, what would be the emotional symptoms of a person who has a stress? He will experience depression or general unhappiness. Everything is fine, but this person will emotionally wrecked. Anxiety and agitation, moodiness, mood swings, irritability or anger. Without any cause, the person becomes irritable, feeling overwhelmed about anything. He experienced loneliness, although he might be amidst friends, amidst a big festival, but he will experience loneliness and isolation. And other mental and emotional health problem he experiences, like uh, uh, for no reason he has a headache or he has a stomach ache. Recently, I came across one student who was clinically all the tests were all right, but this student was getting cramps in his stomach, and after several tests and going to psychologist and psychiatrist, it dawned to the parents that actually the student was under stress of having getting good grades in his exams, or handling pressure at the school. So these are the emotional symptoms. What are the behavioral symptoms of a person who has a stress? His behavior, you can understand through these symptoms. He will eat more or less, or sleeping too much or too little, withdrawing from others, procrastinating or neglecting responsibilities, substance abuse. He will take shelter of alcohol, cigarettes, drugs to forget whatever stress he is handling. And nervous habits like nail biting, pacing back and forth, or having certain gestures repeatedly. So these are behavioral patterns. What are physical symptoms? See this: stomach upset, dizzy spells, lightheadedness, headache, chest pains, breathlessness, palpitations increasing, feeling cold, or skin complaints. Cognitive symptoms of a stressful person: memory problems, whatever he reads, forgets, inability to concentrate on any subject. He just constantly want to change from one thing to another, one side to another, one program to another, one person to another person. Poor judgment, cannot able to not able to make decisions, seeing only negative in even a positive situations, and constant worrying about future and regretting or blaming the past. These are the symptoms of a stressful person. So the same thing happened on the battlefield of Kurukshetra. So Arjuna was amidst of both the armies of the Pandavas and armies of the Kauravas. So he told to Krishna that, Krishna, my Gandiva is slipping from my hand. My hairs are standing on the body, on its end. My throat is drying up. I'm not able to concentrate because this war is the final war. So the stress, although Arjuna was fully competent, he had won so many titles in his life. So, regards to competence, Arjuna was the best warrior. But when it came to handle situation, a stressful situation where he has to fight against his near and dear ones, he lost his composure. His competence did not help him to handle that situation, which is emotionally surcharged. He has to kill his grandfather, he has to kill his teacher, whom he loved the most. So that time he expresses his situation to Krishna, that please help me how to come out of this distressful situation. So here are the causes of the stress. The personal factor could be health, emotional problem, relationship, major life changes. Many of you, when you must have left first time your home, where you will be going, what you will be eating. So that change creates stress, conflict of belief or values. These are the personal factors. A social factor, social standing and acceptance, peer pressure, difficult surroundings, violence or discrimination. Then you have occupational factors, when you will start working, or it might be he- sometimes in our day-to-day life, some deadlines to be met, too much workload, pressure from boss or clients, peer pressure, layoffs. And nowadays that can be seen. This is occupational factors. So, three reasons which contribute to chronic avoidable stress. So, what are those? Undue expectation far from reality. Sometimes people, they go beyond their capacity to achieve, which is not possible. Just like an elephant tries to win gold medal in running with the cheetah, which is not possible. It is undue expectation. One must understand one's ability, one's strengths, and according to he should set up his dreams. Second is lack of planning and preparation, and you must have experienced this. So many times, many students are in a way that they plan, they study just a day before exam and full of anxiety. So lack of planning and preparation creates anxiety and negativity spiral. Once you get caught up in this quicksand of negativity, it's very difficult to come out of it, because the cycle keeps going on, one after another, one after another. If you start, if you have inferiority complex, if you have gone through some difficult situation, time and again it keeps hunting you, and you lose confidence. And losing confidence means inviting stress, because here we will all have to perform. So we all have expectation in our life, and there is a reality to life. And the gap between the expectation and reality, the bigger the gap, it creates bigger the stress. So we keep procrastinating our things, which brings unnecessary stress. So as a student, as I told you, many times we do it one day before or just some time before. So how this negative cycle works, just see. Here I have just put it into the slide, that ruminating on negativity, draining of energy, then you decrease your confidence, will willpower and hope also goes down. It creates self paralysis, inability to think or act, and again you go through negativity. See another this. I don't do anything. I feel guilty. I doubt myself. I feel helpless. These are all negative thoughts. So when you find yourself in such situation, what questions, how to get out of it, is presented here. The stress booster questions. What are those? Is this issue, whatever I'm going through, really worth so much of my attention and anxiety? Can I and am I doing something worthwhile about this? And have I equipped myself with the right frame of mind to deal with unavoidable failures on the way? So, here is the chart for all of you to understand how stress can be dealt. Am I in stress? If no, then chill out. If yes, then ask another question. Is it really worth so much of my attention? Because we worry and we take stress of so many things which may not be worthy to taken off. So if it is worthy, then take a next step. If it is not worthy, then move on. If it is worthy, am I endeavoring in right direction? Because many times we keep thinking about the problem, but we don't have a right direction to solve that problem. So check out, are you going in the right direction to solve it? You have to revise your strategy and rectify the wrong if it is not in the right direction. If you are in the right direction, then take another step. Have I been able to make a difference after taking that steps? If yes, then keep going, and if no, then take the next step. Have I equipped myself with the right frame of mind to deal with exigencies? Equip yourself with those things. For example, if you are not good at math, so and you have to score nicely in your math examination. So check out this flow chart. If that is creating stress for you, so follow these steps. Have I equipped myself with the right frame of mind to deal with the exigencies? If not, then equip yourself. And if you have done rightly, then chill out. So this is the nice flow chart which can help you to deal with the anxiety and the stress. So dealing with the stress, is it really worth so much of my attention and anxiety? So one by one we will check. So lives determine problems, we determine their size. It's very important. There will be some problem, some situations which keep coming in our life. In Arjuna's life, it was unexpected that he has to face his grandfather Bhishma and martial art teacher Dronacharya. There was a problem. Similarly, we also come across many problems in our life, but our mindset decides the size of that problem. So we have to burst the bubble of expectation. Don't allow that problem to become big in your mind. Because if once your mind thinks that the problem is bigger, 90% war you have lost there itself. You are bigger than your problem. Always remember this. So don't allow your mind to disproportionately increase the size of the problems what you face in life. And always check out that there are people having greater challenges than what we have, but how they are navigating their life, it will help you to navigate your own. My problems are not that big what others are facing. This mindset, this thought process helps one to cool down. So one time, a person who was very much disturbed through his situation went to a hill station to commit suicide, jump off the hill. He thought, my job is not going fine, my relationships are not going fine, my uh, social status is not going fine. What is the use of living? So he took out his bike and went to hill station, and he was about to jump off the cliff. So in that spot where he was about to jump, a beggar was sitting, and this beggar saw that this person is going to jump off the cliff. He understood the intention of the fellow. So the beggar called this person and asked him, do you have some money with you? Because anyway you are going to die, it won't be any use to you. Please give me that purse, whatever you have. So the fellow thought, okay, anyway I'm going to die. What is the use? So he gave his purse to him. Then again he was ready to jump off. The beggar said, you have left your bike here. Do you have the key of this bike? So he said, yeah. So beggar said, if it is not of any use to you, why don't you give me that? So the fellow thought, yes, before jumping off, give my bike to him. And he said, you are wearing such a nice coat. If you don't mind, can you give that? So the fellow said, okay, anyway, I'm dying. Let me give my coat to him. Slowly, slowly, it dawned to the person who was jumping off the cliff that this beggar doesn't have whatever I have, but still he is living. He is such a blissful example. And even after having everything with me, all those things what he doesn't have, still I am committing suicide. So with this thought, he gave up his plan to jump off the cliff and return back home. So this is how one must see life. That there will be problem, there will be challenges, but you have to understand. Keep problem of a smaller size. Don't give them bigger size. So live with acceptance of karma, because understand life will give what we all deserve. And for everyone thinks that life is unfair. It is not unfair, it is just the echo of our past. What we have sent, it is coming back. The next one, is it worth it? That under that section we are discussing another aspect. Zoom out, don't eternalize the present. If you find yourself in some stressful situation, so come out of the situation and see. So here is the slide which is showing a plane flying above the Auckland city, or you can say Mumbai city or any other city. So in city, when you are walking on the street, you see big skyscrapers. So what those skyscrapers mean to you? Oh, such a big palatial place over here. Skyscraper looks like touching the sky. But when you change your position from ground level to the level of a plane 30,000 feet high, what you see is tiny matchboxes of the same skyscrapers. Similarly, when we change our positions, and means that is the perspective basically, per- changing only perception is not sufficient, but the changing perspective means position from ground to the higher level of reality. That helps us to ease this difficult situation, stressful situation we undergo. And also, very important to remember the nature of the world. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that Matra Swarshastu Kaunteya Shitoshna Sukha Dukkada Agama Paino Nityas Tam Titikshasva Bharatah. O son of a Bharat, means he is referring to Arjuna. O son of Kunti, Pritha, Partha, remember this. There is nothing permanent in this world. Any situation you undergo, that also not permanent. Summer comes, then comes winter. Matra sparshas konte. But you have to continue then in this changing situations. So that current situation is not going to remain with you for eternity. It is temporary. So one time a king called his minister and asked him that you have to present me a ring which seeing that ring which will help me to change my mood. When I'm happy, I become sad, and when I'm sad, I become happy. So the minister was taken aback. He thought, where will I get such magical ring which will make king happy when he's sad and sad when happy? So he went in his kingdom. He was searching such magical ring, and he came across one very old person. He was under stress. Okay, what will happen if I don't get that ring? The minister. So he asked this old person that my king has given me this assignment of finding a magical ring which will make him happy when he's sad, and when he's sad, it will make happy. So the grandfather, that old person, said, "Oh, that's an easy thing." So he brought one gold ring and inscribed something on that ring. And after seeing that inscription on the ring, the minister became happy, and next day he reached to the king's court and presented this ring to him. So when king saw that ring, he became really very happy. And as soon as he read that inscription on the ring, immediately became unhappy. What was written on that ring? What which is inscription were there? So the letters which that old gentleman had written was, this too shall pass. So the time doesn't remain the same. This too shall pass. And the next one is a diversifying your emotional investment. So we are discussing how to deal with the stress, whether it is worth, or if it is worth it, then follow these guidelines. So diversification basically means just don't get emotional with one aspect of life. Just like a wise investor invest his money in uh, stack, various stocks in the market. Similarly, as a intelligent human being, don't just depend on a certain thing, or just not focus only on one thing in life. If I don't get this, then my life is useless. I'll tell you a story of a lady, a girl, who was who had stood first throughout her academic career. And when he took admission into a medical college, she was also very much obsessed with having first rank in all her years. So in third year of her MBBS exams, she just got a thought. in her mind after giving two papers that uh, I may not top this year, because she was identifying herself with that ranking one position. And just with this thought, she thought, this year my two, three papers are not gone good. I may not stop, I may not stand first in upcoming year. So with just this single thought, she committed suicide because she had invested all her emotions only in one thing. And that created so much stress that she could not handle that. So much of anxiety. And the interesting thing is that after the result came out, whatever paper she had given, she was first in all those three papers. So, when we diversify our emotions in different things, in different people, then if something doesn't go as per our expectation, there are other things which help us to balance ourselves. So, what can I do about? Can I and am I doing something worthwhile about it? Now, this second thought we had discussed. So, deal with the circle of action, not the circle of worries. So, what are the circle of action? So, here are the two circles which are famously known to many people. Here, there is circle of influence and there is a circle of concern. So, what are the right endeavors from our side? So, the things which are under my control and things beyond my control. So, things which are under my control are circle of influence, and things beyond my control is circle of concern. Simple example: how Indian team will play in current matches. Is there any control we have? No, we don't have. But now, circle of influence. If I have some bad habits, who can correct that? I myself. So that is my influence over me. I cannot change others. I cannot correct, I cannot mold others the way I want, but I can change myself. You have control over your habits, you have control over your thoughts, you have control on your hard work. These are the circle of influence. You have control over your character, you have control over your studies. Now you have, what is the influence, the circle of influence? Studies are in your hand, but how much mark you will get it in your exam is not in your hand. You are entitled to work, but what result will come? And many times it happens that a student works really very hard, and just day before exam he falls sick. So he may not be able to achieve the success what he desired. So work on circle of influence and deal with the problem. So one time, an old donkey fell into the dry well, and this person came to know, his owner came to know, oh, my donkey has fallen into the well. So well was already dried up, so it was of no use. And donkey was expecting that, oh, I should be saved by my owner. But somehow or other, the owner thought the donkey anyway it is becoming old, so it is of no use, and the well is also of no use. So why not I bury my donkey in this well itself? So he asked his neighbor to come and help him to throw shower some dirt into the well. So he started doing that, and donkey was taken aback. He was looking at his owner, thinking that, Array, instead of protecting me, instead of bringing me out of the well, he's throwing and trying to bury me inside. So donkey was little taken aback in that situation. But as the dirt was getting shoveled inside the well, and it was hitting, it was troubling the donkey. But at the same time, donkey realized, if I can shake it off of my back, the dirt is falling down, and slowly I can come up with the help of that dirt. So the farmer kept shoving uh, the dirt, and step by step, donkey was coming out of the situation, out of that dark, deep well. And finally, at certain point, he jumped off the well. So the problem, what he was seeing, that same problem he converted into the solution with the help of presence of mind. So shake it off and step up. The next one, train your mind for performance. So mind always have a negativity, uh, always creates negativity towards anything. So don't give your remote control to your own mind. Mind can make heaven out of hell, hell out of heaven. It is you who decides which you choose. And stop proving and start improving. This is right behavior. Most of the time, what happens? We want to prove to the world, we want to prove to the society about your uniqueness, your greatness, and make people bow down to you. The fact is that even if you try to prove and whom you want to impress, they will not be impressed whatever you have. So those who hate you, they don't bother what you achieve. And those who love you, they don't see what you achieve. So whom you want to prove? Your own self. And in that proving oneself, in that uh, thought process, what happens? Instead of proving, we break ourselves. So we generally want to beat our competitors and show our greatness. So understand the capacity and ability what you have. And if we understand that, then what happens? We start improving ourselves with our past. So 100% success is for everyone as per his ability. So what happened once, a very nice story. Uh, Once a crow, uh, crow saw a very nice and very attractive geese flying. So um, he thought, and everyone was praising geese for their elegance, their uh, flying. So the crow became upset. Bola, hey, what is this? Uh, why you are praising those geese? I am also very much uh, great in my flying skills. So he showed his 100 ways how he can fly and how he can make somersault and all those things. So his friend said, okay, we'll have a competition between you and the geese. So crow said, yes, we should, I'll prove myself that I'm better than them. So crow went and told the geese, well, hey, um, we want to have a competition. So we will fly across the ocean, and whoever reaches to the another shore, that person will be the winner. So geese said, okay, no issue. So both geese and the crow started flying. So crow showed his acrobats while flying across the ocean. Slowly, slowly they went ahead. The shore was the invisible now, and they went deeper into the ocean. Now the crow started fumbling. He lost his strength because just remaining to the fly over endless shore, endless ocean, where shore is invisible. It's not visible ahead. So what he can do? He lost his strength and he was about to drown into the ocean water. So he started pleading to the geese, please, please help me to come out of this. So the crow was unnecessarily boasting and trying to compete with the geese. Crow has a different strength, and these geese have a different strength. So what we have to do is we have to remain uh, integ- uh, we should have integrity to ourselves, giving our 100% hard work, and that 100% differs with the different people. So don't compare yourself with others, which brings unnecessary stress. So don't prove to others, because everyone's uh, what you call is a pitch. When a batsman plays, if two batsmen are playing on a different pitch, one pitch is favorable for bowlers and another pitch is favorable for batsmen. So if you compare this, both batsmen start comparing their score, so it will be disaster for their life. So everyone's life speech is different, and every other batsman has a different problems to play or problem to face. So one must not just keep in oneself in that mode of comparing with others or proving to others. First starts improving, and most of the time we are thinking what people will say. Leave public opinion to public. So we'll go ahead. So now equipping oneself. Have I equipped myself with the right frame of mind to deal with unfavorable failures? So one by one we'll see. Learn to tolerate what cannot be changed. And that's what Lord Krishna told Arjuna. You can change yourself, you cannot change others. So the things which you cannot change, tolerate. Just like we tolerate summer and winter. When there is raining, you can carry umbrella, but you cannot stop rain. This is how we need to, our situation might be different and which cannot be changed right now. So accept that situation, and acceptance ease out our stress. excavate an identity beyond insecurities. So, this is very important to understand. Therefore, Lord Krishna told Arjuna immediately after he started speaking Gita, he started giving him instructions. The first lesson he taught to Arjuna that Arjuna, you are not this body, you are spirit soul. The spirit soul goes through, he spirit soul changes, sorry, the body changes from boyhood to youth, youth to old age, but spirit soul never changes. Just like, I'll give you example to understand this. Uh, when you must have seen ocean, and in that ocean there are swimmers or surfers. When surfers, they are always floating, they are always playing on the waves of the ocean. So when you are on the surface of the ocean, the surfers go up and down. But at the same time, there are scuba divers. They go deep into the ocean, and there is still a very peaceful environment, no matter what happens above the sea. Because deep down in the sea, there is still stillness, there is calmness. On the surface of the ocean, there is a lot of turbulence. So similarly, when we identify with externals on surface level, you will always get affected by different things coming and going. Something's coming in, something going, somebody is adding in our life, somebody is getting subtracted from our life. Some situations brings happiness, some situation brings distress. All those things happen like surfers, ups and downs, undulations. But when we go deep in the ocean, there is a stillness, calmness. So, similarly, when we understand our identity beyond our current position, situation, and current identities, we experience peace in our life. The next one, so be yourself, an original is worth more than a copy. So I will skip this story because we have a less time. I'll just cover a few points ahead and then we can stop. So it takes courage to endure the sharp pains of self-discovery rather than choose to take the dull pain of unconsciousness that would last the rest of our life. So keep your head in the sky plus your feet on the ground. So when our foundation is weak, if our understanding of life is weak, just going ranking into getting positions, getting great packages doesn't matter if we are not founded into reality. So this is a beautiful skyscraper building, but it had a weak foundation. So what happened? Little storm can dislodge it from its position. Similarly, in our life, a difficult situation can blow us out if we are just heading ahead and not grounding properly. So let's our feet be on the ground, rooted into reality, and you go higher as much as you want to go. Achieve as big as you want, but remain grounded. Your feet should touch the ground. And learn to see silver lining amidst dark cloud. So have faith in the universal justice system. So one time a farmer had a horse. So that was his only possession, and that horse was lost. So the neighbors came and they started consoling the farmer that, Are, it's life, don't be worried. So the farmer said, No, not a problem. I have a faith that there must be something good happening. The neighbor said, Oh, this is so bad, so bad. Uh, but farmer was having that faith that, oh, there must be something good in this. So after some days, what happened? That horse, which had gone missing, it came with another horse of the same breed, and it was so costly breed. So the horse and another horse. Now there are two horses. So neighbor said, "Oh, what is such a great situation! You are very lucky." So farmer said, "It is all God's mercy." So next day, the farmer's son was riding on a horse, fell down and broke his leg. So all the neighbors came and they said, "Oh, such a bad thing happened. Your son got leg broken, and he is now no more capable of doing anything. Such a bad thing for you." Farmer said, "It's all doesn't know whether it is good. So there must be something good over here." So what happened? So the that time country imposed a draft. So all the young people of the villages, and because the country was having war against another country, so all the youth were taken into the army, and they left this farmer's son because his leg was already broken. He cannot do anything. So all their sons, other people's sons, were taken into the army into the draft. Only the farmer's son was left. So all the neighbors came and they said, "Oh, such a good thing happened to you that your son remained at home and he was not taken to the draft." So by now, the farmer said to all the neighbors that, "My dear neighbors, actually there is something, there are always something good even in the worst situation. Only thing is that you have to have patience to see that good." So similarly in our life, we need to understand that uh, we have to have faith. As Einstein said, no problem can be solved from the same level of consciousness that created it. So we need to develop higher consciousness, and that is what Gita's appeal to each one of us. Lord, before Gita was spoken, Arjuna was under full stress, tension, anxiety. And I told you the symptoms of Arjuna. And now, after hearing Gita, nothing was changed externally. Duryodhana was there, Bhishma was there, Dronacharya was there, all on the opponent side, all his enemy side was present. But during that conversation, what changed? Arjuna's consciousness changed to see the reality, to see the problem, and he got strength to deal with that problem. So we have to change our consciousness to solve the problems what we face in our life. And that is what Einstein said. So here is few thoughts on based on Bhagavad Gita dealing with the stress. So I'd like to stop here. If anyone has anything to ask, please feel free to ask. Sorry, we went little ahead of our time. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. It was an amazing and very extraordinarily enlightening talk. Dear participants, if you have any questions, we are open for the question answer round. So if anyone has any questions, please write in the chat box, or you can also like use your mic to ask directly.
I don't have a question,
Yes.
but I have an observation to make,
Yeah, please.
Swamiji. Um, I would say that this lecture, I mean, when I joined today,
Yeah.
I was expecting that verses from the Gita would be read out, and then you would explain and things like that.
Okay.
But what I found very interesting and very relevant, and I'm sure all the young students who are still there, will vouch for this, that the examples that you chose seemed very current and they were very relevant. I mean, someone of my age at 55, I felt now that, why is it that it is so important that we perhaps listen to lectures like these? Because I think for my age, I've taken something away. And I think for the younger people, the learning would have been huge because the slides that you showed. So for me, it was a kind of a novel experience because I was expecting a spiritual discourse, but then you kind of deconstructed and related stress and the Gita so beautifully. I mean, it was wonderful. This 1 hour, I simply do not know how it went by. So that was one observation, and I think speakers like you can actually, I think finding a chord with young people will not be difficult. If we use, and what I have learned from your discourse is that, the slides were new. Everything was new and it was, in a sense, modern. So in that way, I would say it was wonderful listening to what you had to say, the pace at which you spoke, the examples, and not harping so much on the verses themselves. And this, I think, will kind of excite the children to actually go to the text. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your kindness, kind words. This is how we also, when we were studying and when we were going through different situations, we realized, oh, this is the problem which we should address when students are growing, when they are going through different challenges. So, so the texts are still relevant today. Unless we make that relevant to them, their daily problems, then it loses its value. Many times people think, oh, Gita is only for old people or something to relate to only spirituality. But no, it can create solutions or give solutions to your each and every situations of life. Thank you for those kind words. Thank you for your
Thank you,
kindness.
Swamiji. Very true what you said. Very true.
So if there are no questions from anybody, I think acha,
Yes, we have a
my
question.
Shashank is asking. Yeah, yeah. So thank you, Shashank, very boldly asking this question: how to stay away from lustful thoughts? How to tackle them? Thank you. Most of the time, people they don't want to ask such questions. They generally enjoy. uh, mind, you must, those who are in IT, they must have heard this terminology. It is called GIGO. Anybody knows what GIGO means? Gigo.
Garbage in, garbage out.
Yeah, garbage in, garbage out. Thank you. Most of the time, our mind functions like that, because whatever inputs goes inside comes outside. So if our senses are like a hardware, they give inputs to the mind, and mind programs them. So what you see, what you hear, what you read, all those inputs goes inside. So if you are watching lusty things, you are watching, hearing, reading, everywhere the same thing is happening. So what will happen? Garbage is going out, the garbage will come out. GIG also stand for good in, good out. So you give good inputs through your senses. Therefore, we are promoting. You read Bhagavad Gita, then right thoughts are going inside, right inspirations are generated, right perspectives are generated. You be with the good people. You see good things, hear good things. So all these senses can be used for good things. And GIG also stand for God in, God out. So unless God goes in through our senses, God will not come out in our thoughts. So the simple principle how to deal with the lustful thoughts is stop giving inputs of lusty things, and see, you can see the change. So this is the answer for your question, Shashank. How to stop lustful thoughts. I hope it addresses. If you have any, thank you. Any other question? So how do we go about,
Uh,
Ahanik?
yes, Prabhuji. So if there is any other questions, we can take it up, or otherwise, we have come to the conclusion of this session. So thank you so much, Prabhuji, for spending your time with us. It was an amazing experience listening to all the wise thoughts. Okay, Suraj has raised his hand. Yes, Suraj, go ahead.
Good evening, Ramakrishna Ari. Yes. Hello,
Yeah,
I'm audible.
not clearly. You can be a little louder.
Hello,
Yeah.
good evening. I'm Ramakrishna Haridas. I'm Suraj Raut from Maharashtra. I just have one question that I get emotional and attached to friendships. Means I just overthink on that. Means it's nice to take care of someone that close friend also. But sometimes what happen, I just overthink on it a lot. And I just all people say that you are an overthinker and your type is like of overthinking. So that I realize that sometimes my time get wasted, but things are like that I get emotional on that. So
Hmm.
what should I
Yeah. See, many people have. I mean, we all are different beings, having different differently wired. So some people are like people oriented. Some people are project oriented. So as long as some people who are um, with the people, they feel energized. Some people who are project oriented, unless they have project in their hand or something to do, they are not stable. So as I understand with your thoughts, or with your question, the first thing is that you are people oriented person. But one means both the people have both kind of people have different uh, drawbacks. So As I understand, you are people oriented person, so definitely you you should be very much careful, that because sometimes as time change, people's priority may change with whom you are associating. So that time when they leave, you should be emotionally stable, because many times when people go away, I have seen that people get addicted, develop bad habits in their separation, or somebody breaks their heart, or the same people develop friendship with others. So always think that you cannot change the situation. Most of the time we think I am the controller and I will change the situation. Sometimes you will be successful, but most of the time you will be unsuccessful. So overthinking brings paralysis also, and that overthinking is because we are fearful of the future. So understand this, that if you are feeling always fearful about future, then you will not be able to do anything in the present. So take a day, take your present, work on the present, whatever is there, appreciate. And what will happen tomorrow, don't worry about that. Of course you should plan, I'm not saying about that thing, but what will someone do, that is not in your hand. You understand that? Yeah. So develop yourself. Also, um, making emotionally strong, and how that emotional strongness comes, the emotional strength comes through meditation, through understanding the nature of the world. So when we understand the realities, then you also emotionally becomes stable. So these are the certain things you should take care, Suraj. Ramkrishna or Suraj? Actually, I'm getting confused.
Thank you, Guruji. It's Suraj, my name, and in Maharashtra we say Ram Krishna Hari.
Acha, acha. Oh, sorry, sorry, sorry. Okay, okay. So I hope it addresses your question.
Yes, yes, sure.
I think another question has come up. Vishal Singh has written. Thank you, Vishal. Namaste, Guruji. Often we think that we would get certain amount of happiness in future by certain event. Example, buying our dream car. Yeah, but often it does not happen so, and it leads us with unhappiness. So it kind of feels like finding happiness doesn't give happiness. It sort of leaves existential crisis. What should be the perspective to it? Thank you. Uh, yes, actually, uh, in this world, happiness remains till you doesn't get that thing, or you don't get that thing. Um, but just think, you all have got, you must be now in your engineering and heading towards having great placement and all those things, your dream company, your dream job, your dream package, that we all are thinking. Now just ask someone who has got your dream things, are they really happy? We always think this is a very strange phenomena, that happiness is in future, in some achievement, in some things. But the fact is, happiness is not in the future or not in any things. Happiness is in the mind, because any step you go, there is always higher stage. In Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says that the definition of happiness, that yam labdva chaparam labam manyate na adhikam tata yasmin sthito na dukkhena gurunapi vichalyate. The meaning of this shloka is that simple. A person who is really happy person, the real happy person is that one who does not desire anything. After achieving something, he does not desire anything. But if you see any situation in this world, now when you have a, now in current situation, the person who doesn't have a job, he thinks even if I get 10,000 rupee job, I will be happy. But the person who has already got 10,000 rupee job, what he thinks, or if I get 15,000 rupee job, then I will be happy. So the basically happiness is not in future. If you are not happy with your present, I guarantee you, you will never be happy in whatever situation you will be there in the future. We have to be happy in whatever situation. So it is all mental game. One billionaire from America, I forgot his name, but he had spoken these words, that he said that I wish everyone in the world should be billionaire, and they will come to know that actually there is nothing to be in billionaire, to be a billionaire. So simple meaning is that he said that um, to be happy you don't need to be billionaire, or you don't need your dream things. Yes, I'm not saying that you should not achieve, you should not go for it, but to think that happiness in that thing is wrong. You achieve your good grades, you achieve your good company, good package, that is not, I'm not against that. What I'm saying is that don't think that will give you happiness. So this is how. So learn to be happy in present, whatever you have, whatever situation you might have, because happiness is not only the happiness is not prerogative of only uh, of certain things. Happiness is your prerogative. You are subscribing your happiness to certain things or certain dreams. That is not right. Happiness is within. If you connect with the self, you'll experience joy. I have seen. I stay in a very means in I stay in Mumbai, and I stay in a close locality of millionaires. Uh, from my locality, Anil Ambani's Ambani's home, Ambani's palace is just few meters away. Means this is the South Mumbai. Is the uh, happiest, means here should be happiest people of the country, but no, I meet so many people. They say, sir, we have ocean, but the water is not drinkable, and you have a well which can satisfy and can give happiness, that water. So this is what about happiness. I think Vishal has asked. Is this addresses your question, Vishal? Thank you, Vishal. And Shashank has also asked another question. He's asking very interesting question. What is an appropriate age of having a relationship? Attraction towards girls, should we surpass our feelings? uh, See, as a biologically, we may get tuned to certain things, having relationship. A relationship is a distractions for your goals. If you want to have a relationship, have a not just for changing 1 week or 1 year or 1 month. You should have relationship for which last long, because as you have as many relationship, as many distractions you will have, and you will never achieve your goals. So it is not about age, it is all about your goals. Nowadays at any age people are having relationship. First check out, because many times people think relationship will give them happiness, relationship will make them satisfied, but again that expectation is wrong. You should have a meaningful relationship which lasts long. And so this is about relationship at what is an appropriate age. Mm. Um, and attraction towards girl, should we suppress our feelings? See, suppressing and expressing uh, both are detrimental for oneself. Why? Because if you suppress, it bursts out sometime in ugly manner, and you start expressing, you will be nowhere. You will uh, you will get different problems in different ways by expressing. So what we have to do, we have to process our feelings. So don't suppress and don't express, but those feelings can be channelized in proper direction. So I'll tell you a story from Mahabharat, uh, where Arjuna Arjuna had gone to heavenly planet, and there, because he was invited, so King Indra invited him, and there was all the apsaras were there, heavenly nymphs. So the Urvasi was dancing, and all other apsaras were dancing. So Arjuna was reverentially looking at Urvashi. So Urvashi thought, oh, he wants to enjoy with me. So after the dance got over, so she said, why don't you enjoy with me? You were looking at me while I was dancing. So Arjuna said, actually, I was not looking with the lustful eye. I was looking at you with reverence, thinking that you were our ancestors. One of my ancestors you had married. His name was Pururava. And I was looking, oh, with that reverential eye of a mother. So Urvashi said, hey, that is not the in heavenly planet, such kind of relationship doesn't work. It is gone onto the earthly planet. Arjuna had an open invitation from Urvashi, but Arjuna said, it might be I'm an earthly being has come to this. Uh, you're like my mother. So what he did, he he changed his perspective and perception to look at the object of enjoyment. Otherwise, anyone would have accepted that proposal. She threatened him that I will give you curse if you don't accept my proposal. Arjuna remained steady. And he said, "Whatever you desire, mother." So she cursed him to become a eunuch for a year. So still Arjuna did not get disturbed. He utilized that curse when they were in incognito. So attraction towards girls or girls getting attracted towards boys, it's natural. But we need to learn to process in with the right thoughts, because it may create distractions from your goals. Is that all right, Shashank? Now, Sanjay is again asking, Suraj, sorry, Suraj asking again, Guruji, just get confused in friendship that when my close ones appreciate me for what I am, for them, and sometimes I felt like they ignore me. Oh, this will go on. Sometimes you feel appreciated, sometimes uh, is he there, Suraj? Okay, okay, yeah, he has joined again. Suraj, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, yeah, yeah. So I'm just addressing your question now. Um, about friendship, asking again, Guru, just get confused in friendship that when my close ones appreciate me for what I am, for them, and sometimes I felt like they ignore me. See, any relationship now will not be 100% perfect. You have to accept something good, and you also have to ignore something bad. So if you think they should always appreciate me, they should always pay attention to me, it is not possible. You are having a greater expectations, and that will result into frustration if it is not met. So any friendship best and can last long if you learn to accept people as they are, as they behave, and learn to ignore their bad behaviors. Then only you can live peacefully, and you should not get emotionally breaking down. So accept, okay, if they are ignoring you, that's fine. You should always see the positive. Oh, at least sometimes they're appreciating, isn't it? So this is how one should uh, have this kind of perspective or this kind of mindset in any relationship. uh, is this addresses your question, Suraj? Okay, so if there are no other questions, so shall we?
Yes. Thank you, Prabhuji, so much for spending so much time with us and answering all our questions. It's a blessing to hear you today. Thank you for these are very practical questions that youth face today. These are very not only their questions, these are common questions for a lot of people, and you
Yeah, yeah.
answered them so gracefully.
Thank you everyone, and thank you to professors, Srimati Venkata Lakshmi ji, for joining today and showing your kindness to me also, appreciating this session. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir.
So by this, we would like to conclude our session. Uh, yes, Shashank is saying that we would yes. So we will have more sessions, Shashank, and we would like to invite Prabhuji again in future also. So thank you everyone for participation. Thank you, Prabhuji, for being.
Thank you.
So by this, we are ending our session. Thank you everyone.